Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a video of a day in the life of a teacher while assessing. So I'll show you how I do my assessments, how I do my analysis, and how my children is set up for assessment. I hope you enjoy this video. Please, if you do, like and subscribe, and you'll be able to see more of these videos. Hi everyone, so I'm locking open my classroom and I'm entering my classroom this morning for the first time. So what I do when I get here first thing in the morning, I am lowering my mask so that I can speak better. I first sanitize and set up so that I'm ready for my learners. Most of the things I set up the day before, so we're good to go. So it's just sanitizing and cleaning so it's safe for them to enter. So I just want to show you what I have all set up. So every morning I have my tea, which is my energy, my Herbalife tea, which is my energy, and my breakfast shake. I use it because it's refreshing, it gives me energy, and it's quick and easy to make in the morning. So especially when I'm in a rush, I have my Herbalife shake and my tea. That's my breakfast. My pencil bag is set up. My class list with the temperatures and the questions are set up. And my work for today as well as my planner is set up. So everything is right for the day. This over here is my assessment. The names are on it. It's sorted. And then I also have my assessment boards all packed out and are ready to go. Now normally when I do assessment, the light is bad. Normally when I do assessment, I use the green boards and I have 612 of those boards and I normally set them out on my carpet. So they spread all across my carpet. So normally I do that because of distancing and we assess individually. But because of COVID-19, they are already separated and they will be sitting at the desk and doing the assessments using the assessment boards. So we don't have space for them to be on the carpet, but we do have space for them at the table. So they'll be doing their assessment at the tables now during COVID-19, but it's still individual assessments. I still do the reading at my table. So this is the only time I actually use my table at the back. So I hardly use my desk. I sit over here. You'll see my laptop, my lunch, everything is over here. I hardly sit at my desk, but during assessment, I would sit there and do individual reading. Basically the only time I sit at my desk. But anyway, let's get started. I can hear my kiddos outside. So what's happening outside, they have been sanitized at the gate. The temperatures have been taken and each one is on a dot. So then they'll come in, we'll do our COVID-19 greeting, we'll go over the poster, we'll say our vision and our mission, we say every morning after our prayer, and then we'll get started with our day. We're starting my day now. I'm putting on my mask and getting ready for the day. So excited. So my learners will be doing the assessment on their own with the boards while I'm busy doing reading at my table. This is basically what our assessment looks like. And in our assessment you have your oral, our phonics, and we will be doing our reading. We'll be doing the reading now. the reading section. My learners are busy with handwriting and the writing part of the assessment. We are doing the reading individually. So each child will come to my desk individually for reading. This normally I do independently on their own. So this is all what's happening during reading time. So now it's after school already. I have not showed you my whole day. I've not showed you my pack-up routine with my learners and how we ended the assessment and things like that. It got a bit crazy. It became a bit real. I've not completed my assessment with this group. So the rest of my class is split into two. Now during COVID, my personal opinion, I love teaching this way, especially when it comes to assessment, because I have two different groups and they are on ability groups. So I work more on their level. I'm more able to target. But the group I had here today, they were my below grade level and just reaching grade level. So I have two groups. My class is split into group A and group B. Group A would be my children above grade level and on grade level. So that is why I have the two split in my class. So I have the 10 that sits here and not necessarily all 10, but I have 10 that's above grade level more or less and 10 that's on grade level. Then I have group B. Then group B is my below grade level and approaching grade level or just slightly on grade level. So then I have, so before COVID-19, I also had 40 learners and they're not 10, 10, 10. That would be a perfect situation. But before COVID-19, I also had 4 groups, which was red, yellow, orange, and green. So my learners were split like that, and I had like maybe 8 or 6 below grade level. I had about 10 or 12 approaching grade level. Then I had few on grade level, and I'd have like 4 or 5 above grade level. So it's still like that. But what makes it nice now is that I have them split. So I can prepare my day like that. I can, so say yesterday, I had group A here. So group A, after school, I knew group B is coming on Friday. So I would set out work that is on their level. So I'd make sure their maths was on their level. Their English is on their level. So I have it all packed out at the back. So when they come, I know exactly what to teach. But now with assessment, because it was assessment, I had the exact same thing. I had the assessment already set up, the names already written on the assessment. Because for these little ones, especially the little ones that I had here, they need more of my assistance, more of my help. So I write their names for them. I wrote it out, their surnames and things, because they are still struggling with that. With COVID-19, they lost a lot of work. They lost a lot of contact time, and that affected these learners a lot. A lot of them either don't speak the language, have language barriers, or they struggle with the basic concepts. So they needed a lot of hands-on. And what made it nice now with COVID, which I love teaching like this, is that I'm able to have the two groups separate, and I'm able to target focus just on the children below grade level and children approaching grade level. So I can set up work just for them, and I can work having 10, or maybe having 6 and having 6 and 14 or things like that. So it made it easier for me. And the other group, so I could focus just on them. But when I had my whole class, I have to focus here and focus there because I have 40. And I can't pull everybody as much as I want to. What was nice at our school, we do have learning support. So my children below grade level would go to learning support, and then we would have word works, so which is volunteers, which is so nice. They would be, and they're trained by the department, they would work with my children approaching grade level. And when they leave my class, I made sure that when the children go to learning support and the children go to word works, I just have my above grade level and on grade level, and then I could teach nicely. But now with COVID, I'm getting that every day, which makes it so much nicer because I get to spend more time with individual children and getting to assess them, getting to work with them, getting to see what their needs are more nicely. Setting out work and working in groups are so much more easier. So I'm absolutely loving that. So now with assessment, I was able to assess exactly like that as well. So I was able to assess my learners based on their capability. Having the ability groups, which made it easier. I'm putting clips everywhere to see how it went, how assessment went. What I do now, once my learners left, now I would mark my assessments. Now I mark my assessments and then I put my assessments into our programs. So now I have done my assessment. I have marked my assessment. My assessment went for moderation, and I uploaded my marks into the schedule that we get from the Western Cape Education Department. So all of those things are done. So now I'll be doing my analysis. So this is the favorite part that I enjoy the most. A lot of people say I'm crazy, but again, it's up to you. It's your teaching style. It's the way you like to do things. You don't have to follow other people. The way I like to do my analysis, and the reason why I do it this way is because it gives me a clear indication of where my learners are. Now remember, I have 40 learners. Okay, due to COVID-19, and now I have 36 because 4 never returned. But I have 40 learners in my class, and I don't get to do one-on-one as much as I'd like to. So I don't know exactly where my learners are. I know their capabilities and things, but I don't have that concrete evidence of where they are at, like with my assessment. That is why I like to do the analysis, because it gives me a clear indication of what my learners can do and what my learners still need to do. So let me show you what I do. I do a lot. You don't have to do what I do, but these are just tips to help you and to show you what I do and why I do it this way. So I'll put in a clear copy because I don't think this is a copy that is not that nice. So this copy is all written on. So I do a foundation phase schedule analysis, but this needs to go into the office. So this goes to my HOD. And why I like this, why we use this, it gives us all 3 grades. So we have grade 1A, grade 1B, grade 1C, and it has all 4 terms. So we can see the growth over the terms, and we can see where we're falling short. And we can see which grade is excelling in which content, and we can get advice and see what that teacher is doing and what I can implement in my class. So I absolutely love this. We first look at home language. We only look at home language and maths. So we look at home language and who got below 50, which learners have received below 50. So we just put in the total. So looking at my stats from first term and third term. So our expectations was very little for who's going to achieve well, because they've been at home for such a long time. So in first term, we tend to normally have more receiving below 50, as we have a lot of learners that don't speak the language of learning. So they don't speak the language of learning, and that causes a lot of learners to get below 50. So my first term, I had 17 learners below 50. So I knew after first term, I needed to really work with these learners. And that is why I continued to teach during lockdown, because my learners were weak to start off with. And then what I love is that we break it down in the content area. So listening and speaking, who's struggling in listening and speaking, who got below 50 for listening and speaking. Phonics, so I had 17 below 50, but I only had 7 below 50 for phonics, which told me they understand the sounds and they're able to hear the letter sounds, and they were able to fill in the beginning sound, because that was all that we did in the first term. So that was clear. But I had 25 below 50 for reading, which showed me that a lot of my learners were struggling to read. And that is where I was going to put most of my focus on, was on reading. So I like this because it shows me so I knew, my learners knew the letter sounds, but they didn't know how to read. So I knew exactly what I needed to do to push up them for reading, to improve their reading, because I wasn't going to focus so much on letter sounds as a phonics as I would on a reading. I then looked at handwriting and writing as well. We also then looked at maths, who has below 50 for maths, and then we looked at the content area, numbers and operations, pattern measurement, and data handling. So we looked at all and I put it out. So I did that first term. After first term, during lockdown, I looked at that and I put it in because it gave me a clear indication of where my learners were at. Second term, we weren't there, so I have nothing on second term. And then third term analysis, I've done now. So that is what I've done now. So I can see exactly how my learners have grown since first term till third term, taking into consideration they never wrote second term and they've never been at school second term. I have been teaching during lockdown. So some of my learners that were able to and had the means to, the data, in other words, to learn during lockdown, they did. And learners that collected book bags and things, you could see clearly who worked during lockdown and who has not, and that shows on my analysis. So I definitely love this analysis. You don't have to do it. I'll insert a picture of my analysis because there's no information that you can't. There's no learners' names. The school name is not in there. This is just my analysis for me. I showed you this analysis here. I don't know if you can see it clearly. This one goes into my HOD. So this is what they see, and you see this was only first term's one. So this goes into my HOD and she keeps this on a record so that we can see. So that is that. Then I take it a step further because now exactly I know. If you look at first term and I look at this term, I look at my maths. I only had first term 10 learners below 50 for maths. This term, I have 7 learners below 50 for maths. But taking into consideration that 4 of those learners were has not returned. Now, I normally use this to fill in this analysis, but this term I couldn't use this because here you'll see that 4 is still included in the 7. So here 7 got code 1 for maths, but in this 7 is those 4 learners that never returned. So this was, I'll show you what I use. This is my planner. I took last year's planner and this year's planner and I combined it because my planner was being damaged. So this is my planner. So I put it just in the case of this. I got by Takealot, so I just put it in that binder. But in my binder I have checklists. So I have checklists in my binder. And you can see I got my class list. And this is how I keep my analysis for the terms. So let me just see if I can do this. I do have my names on here, so I can't show you. But that is how I'll insert a picture. I think it's best if I insert a picture. I'll definitely insert a picture. So what I do, I go to my schedule and I copy all the marks for this term. I do it for each term. So that was first grade. So I copy it just like that and I paste it into a class list, because then I don't have everything else that's going on. I only see their name, and then I got listening and speaking. And I can see if it's red, then they have not met the requirements. If it's black, then I can see they have met the requirements. But I can also see what they got. So say our listening and our speaking. My listening and speaking was out of 25, so it was out of 100. The whole paper was out of 100. And because of weightings, we just took the weightings just up. So listening and speaking weighting was 25, so we made listening and speaking out of 25. So there was lots of different activities in listening and speaking to give them the 25 mark. And I could see, the child got 23 out of 25, so that child was okay with listening and speaking. Let's look at our phonics. My phonics was 20, so the weighting was 20, so we made it out of 20. And obviously, if the child got 8 out of 20, I knew that that child was not hitting the requirement. But if the child got 20 out of 20, that child was hitting the requirement. Got 15 out of 20, the child was hitting the requirement for that, for phonics. So obviously the child that got 8 out of 20 for phonics, I knew that that child needed more assistance with phonics. So once I've copied from my schedule and pasted it into my class list, I'll show you, I'll put up a picture over here so you can see what my class list looks like. So I take it from my schedule and I put it into my class list. Once I'm done with that, I then take it a step further and I'll put in a picture of this also, and I've grouped my learners. You can see. So now I've grouped my learners. So this year, just see the light is shining. So this year I got like a yellow group. So this is maths third term, and I just write it roughly. And I got a yellow group, and then I would put all the code 1s together and the percentage, and I'll write their names. All the code 2s. So that would tell me, now normally that would be my red group. If it was a normal situation, that would be my red group, because that would be below grade level. So I'd put all my code 1s, 2s and 3s together, because they have not made the requirements for that term in maths. And then I'll put their name, and then I'll write down next to their name, they have not made, normally they would, if they got a code 1, 2 or 3, they have not achieved the requirements for each of the content. So they struggle with all the content in itself. So I'm going to try to focus on all the content, but I'll break it up. Then my next group, they would be just approaching grade level. So they would be code 4. I'd normally sometimes make it code 3, code 4, because for maths, because then they're approaching grade level. And I would write their codes, their percentage, and their name. And then I'd write down what they are struggling in. So normally it would be numbers and operations. They'd normally get patterns. It would be patterns, numbers, operation. So it would be patterns, number, operations, and maybe data. They'd normally get measurement and they'll get space and shape. But that would be what they are struggling with. Then I would take my on grade level. So then that would be my codes. That'd be my codes 5 and 6. And I'd write the percentage, and they would normally be struggling with my patterns, filling in missing numbers, counting in 2s, counting in 5s, counting in 10s. They'd be struggling with, and I'd be able to can see where I need to focus and what I need to do for these children. And then my code 7, they would be my last group. That'd be my 4th group, and that would be my above grade level. So they would be hitting the targets for most. They'd be hitting the targets for all the content. So I would then extend them. I'll then take them to counting in 3s, 4s. I'll then take them to doing more, preparing them more for the next grade, doing more advanced things with them for the grade, because then they have achieved the grade level work. So that is how I would do it. So this gives me a clear indication. I will upload because showing it like this you don't get to really see. But having this, and then I'll put all of this. You can see I put my class list in here. I'll put my analysis in here. I'll put all of that in here so I have it with me. And then because I write on the sheet what my learners are struggling with and what I'm going to focus on, it gives me a better idea when I'm planning. So that is how I do my analysis. I do the same for maths and English because it just gives me a clear idea of what I need to focus on. So it is a lot because I'm copying, it goes quick actually. I'm copying my results from my schedule, pasting it in a class list so that I get a clear indication. And the reason why I also do that is so when the parent come to me for conferencing, for reports, when we do one-on-one with parents, I can open my planner and I can show the parent, this is what your child got for listening and speaking. This is what your child got. Can you see your child has not met the requirements for reading? So this is what we're going to focus on. So I'm able to show the parent clearly what the child has received, what the child has got for that subject, for that content. Instead of saying, oh, your child has not met the requirements for English, I'm able to show my parents exactly your child has not met the requirements for English due to the fact that they cannot read. So we're going to focus on reading. So you need to now do this at home, and I will be doing this at school. So it gives them a clear indication. So when I do one-on-one, I have it with me. I'm able to page over and I'm able to say, your child got a code 3, your child got 35. This is the reason why your child, and this is what your child is struggling with, and this is what I'm going to focus on. So that is why I do this analysis. It is a lot, but it helps me a lot when I'm doing planning. So I know exactly where I need to work towards, if you get what I'm trying to say. But that is why I like to do that, to analyze. I will be inserting pictures so you can see what it looks like, so it's much better and you get a better understanding of what my analysis looks like. It makes it so much easier, and like I told you, I keep everything in my planner. The reason why I keep everything in my planner because it's with me all the time. When a parent just walks in, I don't need to go and look for anything. I have it in my planner. I got everything. I got the individual marks. I don't need to go and look for a profile. I don't need to go and look for an assessment file, go and look for this child's assessment to see what the child, I got it here. So it's a lot of work that I'm doing, but I do it during the holidays. So it's Saturday after the holidays, and I first do this so that I have this and I'm prepared. So now when I'm planning, I know how to plan because I have this. So I hope that gave you an idea of, so you saw how I set up for my assessment. You saw how my learners was doing the assessment. I showed you how I do individual assessment. And I showed you now how I do the analysis of my assessment. So remember, I will insert pictures so you can get a clear indication of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. I hope this gave you some ideas of what you could do. You don't have to do what I'm doing. I do it because it gives me a clear indication of what my learners are doing and what I need to do as a teacher. I absolutely love doing it, and I love this part of the assessment. So I enjoy doing this because I can get where my learners are at, and I get to work from there. So I really get excited about doing the analysis. I love figuring out the numbers and where my children are at. If you like what you've seen and you've got some tips from this, please like and subscribe. Please share it with your teacher friends. If you're a parent now, you get a better idea of how I work, because a lot of my parents wants to see how I do the assessment and how I do analysis. Now you get a clear indication of what I'm doing. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and sorry that it's over a couple of days because assessment time is crazy. So I had to spread it out and get everything sorted out while doing this. I hope you enjoyed it, and bye for now. See you in the next video.